What if I told you that improving by just 1% every day could completely change your life? It sounds way too small to matter, right? That's exactly why most people ignore it. But while everyone is searching for a shortcut to success, a few people quietly follow this simple rule and completely transform their future. In the next few minutes, you'll discover why this tiny 1% habit is more powerful than motivation itself. Most people look at success and see a mountain that feels impossible to climb. They compare themselves to others who seem miles ahead and wonder why they're not making the same progress. The gap between where they are and where they want to be feels so huge that motivation starts to disappear. Eventually, many people give up before they even begin. But what if success isn't about taking giant leaps? What if the secret is something so small that most people ignore it? Imagine finding a tiny staircase beside that giant mountain, a staircase built on improving by just 1% every day. At first, the step seems too small to matter, but as you take that first step and then another, something begins to change. You start making progress. It may be slow and almost invisible at first, but every small action moves you forward, and that's where every great success story truly begins. Not with a massive breakthrough, but with a simple decision to get just 1% better today than you were yesterday. The 1% rule is incredibly simple, yet it has the power to completely transform your life. Instead of chasing massive changes overnight, focus on getting just a little better every day. Read one page of a book, learn one new idea, do one push-up, or take one small step toward your goal. These actions may seem too small to make a difference, and that's exactly why most people ignore them. But success is never built in a single day. It's built through tiny actions repeated consistently over time. Just like a wall is built one brick at a time, or a plant grows through daily care and patience, your progress grows through small habits. At first, the results may be invisible, and it might feel like nothing is changing, but every small action is adding up behind the scenes. Day after day, those tiny improvements compound, and eventually the growth becomes impossible to ignore. What once seemed insignificant becomes the very reason for your success. This is the stage where most people give up. After putting in effort for days or even weeks, they look around and see no dramatic results. They check for signs of progress, but everything seems the same. Then they open social media and see people who appear more successful, more talented, and much further ahead. The comparison creates frustration, and slowly the thought of quitting starts to feel tempting. But this is exactly where the real test begins. Success is like an iceberg. What people see on the surface is only a small part of the story. Beneath every achievement are countless days of unseen effort, discipline, and consistency. The people who eventually succeed are not always the most talented. They're often the ones who keep moving forward when there is no visible reward. They trust the process, stay patient, and continue taking small steps. And sooner or later, the progress that was once invisible begins to appear for everyone to see. Then, one day, something remarkable happens. You look back and realize that you're no longer the same person who started this journey. The small actions that once felt meaningless have quietly transformed your mindset, your habits, and your confidence. What seemed like slow progress was actually building a strong foundation all along. You begin to notice results, not because you suddenly worked harder, but because your consistent efforts have finally started to compound. That's the power of the 1% rule. Every small step, every completed task, and every moment of discipline has been working together behind the scenes. Suddenly, momentum is on your side. The things that once felt difficult become easier, and the goal that once seemed impossible starts to feel achievable. When you see how far you've come, you realize that success was never about making one giant leap. It was about showing up again and again, even on the days when it felt like nothing was happening. At the end of the day, the secret to success is much simpler than most people think. It isn't about having extraordinary talent, perfect motivation, or the ideal circumstances. It's about making the choice to improve by just 1% every day. Read one page, do one workout, learn one new skill, or complete one small task that moves you closer to your goal. These actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they create extraordinary results. Every small step builds on the last one, turning tiny efforts into unstoppable progress. So stop waiting for the perfect time to start, because perfection is not what creates success. Consistency does. The future you want is built through the choices you make today. Start small, stay patient, trust the process, and keep moving forward. Because a year from now, you'll look back and be amazed by how far those daily 1% improvements have taken you. Success isn't built in a day. It's built daily.